Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio's Backstage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon on a Wednesday. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio Studios here in beautiful downtown Springboro, Ohio, where it's Wednesday with the band, and we're happy to have some guys on with us today that we have watched play for a long time and enjoy their show so much. They put on such an energetic, wild, crazy stage annex and such. So I'm gonna bring him right in. I'm gonna talk to Dave and Gino from the Interns today. How you doing, guys?
Oh, doing great. How about yourself there, Scott?
Show.
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to have you with us today. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I know Dave and I have talked several times about bringing you on the show, and I'm glad to have you with us because every time I see you guys play, I'm more and more impressed with the talent and the ability to connect with the audience with some good rock music, man. You guys, and you really play it. You play it all, though. You know, you play all kinds of stuff.
We just love to have a good time, you know, and we always we really appreciate what you do for the music community, and we love to see a lot of new artists and whatnot being promoted, and also being brought onto a lot of the more established acts and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, we've had some fun doing these interviews, guys, and you guys, you're in good company with a lot of folks who've been on here in past Wednesdays. I just had John Wade on a few weeks ago, and you know, that was a great time. And then, of course, a lot of the local talent. And one place that we've connected really well is Bell and the Bear, and I'm going to talk about that for just a minute because that Thursday night, I know Gino, you've been there for that. It's magical, man. Yeah. Is it not off the hook?
It is wild.
Yeah, I've only had the chance to go out there once just due to the schedule of my day job, but it was a great time. I mean, for a Thursday night, they have something really magical going on there.
Yeah, you got to hate the day job, man. Got to hate the day job.
A little bit. I mean, you know,
I've been fighting it every day of my life.
We're not huge enough yet where I can quit my day job, but one of these days, hopefully.
Yeah, I used to work hard for a living, but this is a lot more fun.
Well, you know, Dave, you've been at the Thursday Jam numerous times, and Gino, I know I did see you the one time you were there. We try to go every Thursday, and because I see so many musicians connect with so much of the talent in the Cincinnati area there. And, you know, when you're playing on stage like that, and Dave, one thing I've noticed is you can hit the ground running, man. And it's you timelessly for 30 years together. You know, is that normal for an open jam night, or is that the uniqueness of this Bell and the Bear thing?
For us, generally speaking, yeah, we just kind of go at it. And I've always been kind of privy to open mics since I was about 13. You know, open jams, blues jams, and whatnot, where you just kind of get thrown up in there, and especially when you're that young, people are like, "Oh, what is he gonna do? Like, can he sing? Like, what's going on here? This 13-year-old kid's in here." Generally speaking, yeah, that's a pretty average thing for me. But you know, the fact too, though, is that when you're doing that, when you're in that situation, you know, you kind of have to deal with the people you have, whatever those situation, whatever that like their skill level may be, whether it be like they're just a hobbyist, like get into it, or like they might be really amazing. Which over there, Bell and the Bear, by and large, I mean, you can't help but sound amazing when you have so many of these great musicians and singers behind you.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin and Jim and everybody else there, they run such a tight ship with that jam. I mean, it just doesn't stop. Like, you know, they'll switch out musicians, but you know, the way they have it set up that it's just kind of like a continuous show. It's really kind of unlike any other of the open mics I've been out to.
Yeah, it really is. It really is a good term calling it a jam session because that's what it really is. You know, because you go to your traditional open mics, there's a guy who comes up, plays 3 or 4 songs, and you know he's by himself on stage. This is like jamming with the band, man, and it's good. It's real good.
Yeah, so much of like the best talent and the city has to offer. So
Well,
And can I say I'm truly honored every time I get to play with Jim Cuesta and Daniel Laverday. Also Rick Dews as well. Like he's I've known him and his brother a long time.
yeah, that's a talented bunch there in the house band, and you put the blender in there with Jim and Kevin Cooper and Rick playing bass, or Kathy Laverde on bass, and Daniel. It's killer. It's a great night, and then a host of guitar players that get up there. Bob Weber, who you guys know, I know, and Tim Barnhorst and Steve Bishop. So many good players that get up there and jam with the guitar. So let's go back in time for a minute. What's that? I'm sorry.
I love doing the duels too. Like
yeah.
That's why there. Like me and Jamie were dueling last time. Like me and Cameron were trying to do it. So you just at solos and whatnot. Which Cameron is an upstanding.
He's a force.
Yes.
Cameron's a force, man. At his age, he's awesome. It's really cool. Well, let's go back in time a minute, guys. Let's take a trip back. You guys mentioned, Dave, you mentioned 13 playing open mics. Either one of you take it, or both of you answer it here eventually. When did you guys start playing music? When did you know you wanted to play music?
I want to say, like, I knew just seeing concerts and all that going on when I was younger, and one of the first songs I remember hearing was "You Dropped the Bomb on Me, Baby."
The Gap Band.
It just seeing that forward, but also I grew up seeing my dad playing in bars, and like every now and again, like my mom would take me and my sister out to go see him play wherever he may be doing, and just seeing like what that does to people having a good time, like kind of like letting their hair down, letting their inhibitions free. That always appealed to me. And then at a certain point, I was like, well, shoot, I suck at all sports. So like I gotta get into something here,
Yeah, I started on saxophone when I was 10. And then I went to the School for Creative and Performing Arts. I started there in 6th grade, and that's where we met. I've known him since 8th grade.
Yeah.
Back in the days of like middle school gym class. And he actually kind of convinced me to start on bass guitar because he needed somebody to jam with. And here we are, 13 years later.
Interestingly enough, we met in gym class because we were both avoiding doing gym. So like, we were just kind of like hiding out.
It's like, man, I just want to play music.
I always carried a guitar with me at all times. I didn't even really do much music at SCPA, but I always had a guitar. Was that kid that just had a guitar all the time. So meeting Gino, knowing that like we just kind of hit it off. We're in the same kind of music, and it was just like, well, dude, like, start playing the bass. Like, let's start jamming.
I think the first thing we did together was back Burbank's. Is that the name of the place?
Yeah, Burbank's. Yeah, Sonny Mormon was the host.
Yeah,
he ran the open mic.
I don't think that
there.
place is around anymore, but that was like 2000.
No, that's gone.
Yeah. That was, and again, like that just tells you how far back.
Yeah, I mean, we were 15, like playing Pinball Wizard, and we did Pinball Wizard.
We did some like blues stuff, like Red House.
We
did Sunshine of Your Love.
Yeah, like
that.
Pretty standard jam stuff. It was just like, the Sonny Mormon open mic thing they had.
Me and Gino learned a lot together overall. Oh, yeah. Like, we started out writing songs and whatnot, and really kind of competitively pushing each other. And then also at the same time helping each other. So if I'm working on something, like all of a sudden Gino like kind of add a little spin to it and just takes it to the next level. Sometimes, like I'll be like, oh, we should do this here and do that. And it just ends up working out into a situation where we're always collaborating, mixing and melting things together and learning, and sometimes making mistakes together. Who knows?
We made a couple.
Hey, well, it always sounds good. Both are both young. Where does this old school playlist come from? That's what I want to know. Because the songs you guys play a lot of times take me back into my early rock and roll days and all that. Where did you acquire a taste for that kind of music?
Well, I got kind of started, again on the early stuff with like Hendrix and whatnot. But actually, what first inspired me to want to play guitar was seeing a live, like a 1980 kind of thing of Kiss playing in Australia, which. Props out the Kiss, like, but seeing Ace Frehley, like with the Sparks and all that stuff like that. Then I also seen like the Police. The VH1 had this whole thing where they would be playing like a live, like in concert things from colleges and stuff. So I got an early grasp for again, just some of those, like, I guess, more popular bands out of that. But from that, kind of grew into the Who, uh, going into Pink Floyd, all, just going all down the rally list, Alice Cooper and all that, and learning their influences and going back and then going forward. Still have so much more to discover, but generally speaking, and Gene was always in a Rush too, which is like,
Yeah, I got into Rush. My dad always had like classic rock records laying around. He'd like play stuff. I remember like when I was probably 14, I heard Tom Sawyer on the radio and I was like, I should really check that band out. And I just have been a big Rush fan ever since. So
right, which, like, in school, there's only about 2 or 3 of those.
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Did anybody even know who Rush was back then?
Yeah, hey guys, check this music out. And they're like, what?
Yeah. That's a great new band. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting onto the songs that we ended up playing, they're all songs that we enjoy and that we listen to, and that we usually try not to cater to just doing like what people request, because then we'd be playing every other song that every other cover band or whatever out there does, and then we also play our original music on top of it, which is inspired by a lot of the music that we play.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, we like to do the songs that obviously have mass appeal, but we like to do some of the songs where like maybe 1 or 2 people in the audience will be like, "That's my jam." Yeah,
or
no
the
one
one that
does
they would
that.
expect you to do, per se.
Exactly,
Too,
yeah.
If, like, you're gonna do Ted Nugent, I mean, instead of doing Cat Scratch Fever, we'll do Free for All.
Yeah.
Right. And I made a joke on the show the other day. We were talking about it before we came on about Dave, and if Jimi Hendrix and Prince somehow were able to artificially have a baby, you were it, man. Because I've seen you do Hendrix and I've seen you do Purple Rain, Prince a couple times, and you just wow the crowd, man. You blow the roof off. And then the one night Gino was there too, the bass playing and your drummer, he's solid as a rock. You guys have it going on. And does it take a lot of time for you to put together your set list and all the things you play like that? Or do you does it just kind of fall into place, or do you just go by the seat of your pants when you're playing?
Seat of pants is definitely
Yeah, definitely.
we really don't think much about any of it when it comes down to it. I mean, a lot of it comes down to just we'll wing a lot of set lists just based off the feel of the crowd, and also the songs build over time from the experience of us playing them. But we really don't have much of an issue with kind of being like, all right, guys, like, we're all gonna do this song, right? Like, and feeling comfortable with it and just kind of winging it, per se. We try to rehearse as much as we can, but ultimately we just end up hanging out and laughing too much.
Yeah,
right. We've got a question coming in from Christopher Kitchell on the screen here. He says, what's your favorite original song and cover song that you guys perform?
Cover song, I really love playing Space Oddity by David Bowie. Like, we've been doing
that's
that
awesome.
for a long time. Yeah. It's just one of my favorite songs ever. I mean, lyrically, musically, it's just such a perfectly constructed song. And I love the way that we kind of put our own spin on it too. And,
Gino, can you do the countdown for me? I love you do that.
I love doing that.
Until the next question.
Yes. He does that countdown so well. He does during that song. It's good.
I mean, like, again, and that's
I'm not good at math. I don't know how that works out.
Well, you went to a performing arts school. Math was not important. Okay.
I can count to 4.
There you go.
I'd say original song for me would have to be "Don't Fade Away." That's one that really just that just kind of came off the cusp of just riffing around with it, and I wrote it one day and really had all the bits and pieces other than a bridge, and me and Gino got together and we were kind of just messing around, and actually so like that, so then he threw on that, like, we threw on another chord on top of the intro there, and it just made it. And then from there, from when we recorded it 2 or 3 years ago, song live, just a whole nother like experience, because now we do like the talk box with it and all. Cover wise, Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with Space Oddity
Yeah.
as far as that goes. But also on the other end as well, I love when we do Godzilla, and
It's a good one too.
Gino's over there just like belting it out, and I'm throwing a guitar around. There might be shrapnel going around. Godzilla's
Who
approaching.
knows?
There's string breaking off and everything else there when you guys are
Yeah.
doing this kind of song. It gets crazy. And I admire you guys so much because of what you said earlier. And I want to emphasize that you're one of those bands who plays cover songs, but you don't play the cover songs that people would expect. And I love that. And I've said that so many times at your show, like,
Yeah.
wow, he played that and it worked.
Right, right.
Because nobody does that.
Yeah, Turning Japanese by the Vapors. That's one you don't hear a
Yeah.
lot of people doing. And we
Exactly.
and covering a bunch of different eras of like rock music too, like 60s and 70s stuff, but like doing 80s stuff like Gary
Rick
Newman,
James, Gary Newman,
yeah, and like some 90s stuff like Weezer, Nirvana, and even some more modern stuff
Like the
like
Strokes.
the Strokes or Foster the People, just covering all those bases. So like no matter what kind of rock you're into, somebody, will play.
We're gonna
hopefully
get
something
somewhere
you-
on the
yeah,
lines, and
Something that you
it
like.
also influences our writing a lot too, because we get to really feel the things out, and you kind of learn vibes and you learn the feelings, and also again just busting out a original song on people after doing a lot of things that they like here, and they also come around, they're like, "Who wrote that song?"
It's like we did.
They're like,
There you
"What?"
go. There you go. So, guys, if you're joining us on the show, and right now I just got a message from somebody who said they keep getting kicked off of Facebook trying to watch this. So there's going to be a lot of people watching this show after we're live, okay?
Oh, yeah,
And if that's the fact, please drop a comment in there, and these guys will watch, and I'll watch for the comments, and we'll try to answer you as well if you have a question for the interns or anything like that.
For sure.
They're going to share it on their pages. We'll share it on our pages and all that. So it'll be up there for a while. But let's talk about musical influences. Now, I happen to know a little insider secret here that you guys have some different musical influences between the two of you. And why don't you talk about that for just a minute?
Well, I think Gino has a lot more of a sophisticated line, like on his influences.
I mean, I did some like jazz band in high school, like when I was playing saxophone. I think I kind of have a little more like knowledge of that, and that kind of influences my bass playing a little bit. But like, I just love doing all the rock and roll stuff too. So
Right.
but I mean,
Well, and in that, Gino's a lot more like educated, as in the sense of like
theory and all
like,
that stuff.
formal education as far as music goes. Where like we pretty much describe ourselves as the yin and yang for each other, because we are like so kind of so different in some kind of ways, but then like just so similar in every other kind of way. Where like I learned just kind of my dad started showing me a couple chords and whatnot, and then like told me to learn how to play and sing House of the Rising Sun, and just kind of like started pointing me off in a way, and from there just kind of I just did whatever I really felt like doing, but trying to be the best at it that I could be at least. And so in that, like Gino has always been kind of that background of like, oh well, no, this is the D minor sus on the seventh, like, and I'll
Right.
like, you gotta go like that.
Yeah, I mean, we have kind of like different ways, just because of like our, musical backgrounds, how we kind of think about music. But, when we're writing stuff together, it kind of works out really well because Dave will, he'll be playing some kind of chord progression. And I'll be like, it would work really well with that if you did like a 7 there and like we did this on the bridge.
I'll be like, I don't even know what I was doing there.
Yeah. So
I got you. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot a couple times here. Start with Dave. And Dave, tell me who your all-time favorite artist is.
Ooh, all-time favorite?
Yeah.
It's so
That's a
hard,
tough question,
but I would
yeah.
have to say David Bowie, as far as like a big popular guy goes. His ability to kind of shape and shift and be all in these different eras and styles of music and kind of melting them all together and then making it all unique. That's what it's all about.
All right. Gino, you've had time to think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a big Rush fan, so I like really appreciate all of like every aspect of that band. I mean, they're like Getty and Alex's musicality, like Neil Peart's lyricism. It's like there's nothing quite like what they do. I mean, it's like, like just like a bit, it's all classic rock, but like I don't know, it's hard to describe, but they're my favorite.
They have a good balance to where Alex Lifeson's, a little bit more of the vibe, kind of flying at the seat of the pants, and it seems like Getty and Neil are really like.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Neil Peart's definitely was more of a reserved kind of to himself kind of guy, when he kind of let those guys, take the wheel as far as being frontman, obviously. But
Oh
Yeah, I always call Rush a highly technical band. I mean, they're
sure.
precision as opposed to just getting up there and jamming. They're precision
Yeah,
musicians.
right.
I saw them live on their Clockwork Angels tour, and I mean the level of like there's 3 of them on stage, but like
the sound,
Getty and Alex have like these crazy like foot pedal rigs where like when they're playing one of their songs and it has like say like some kind of like some kind of keyboard track, like while Getty's playing bass, he'll just like hit the foot pedals in like a way where like it sounds basically just like the record, even though there's like nobody actually playing like the keyboard part because he's doing a bass riff. And like he'll I think he does that
Right.
with some of the vocal harmony too. But it's just crazy
Well-
the level of, like technicality that you have to execute that.
Who was
Yeah,
it
anybody that can play Rush is fantastic. If you guys, I don't know if you've seen Crown Watts, but
That's
you
what I
know
was
they
saying.
do.
Yeah,
So I
Crown Watts.
was
I know
they were. I was to ask you like
Yeah.
when we were at Bell and the Bear one night, and they came in and they played what?
La Ville Strangiato.
Yeah.
That's
I can't even
That's
speak
next
that kind
level.
of language.
Yeah, that is. There's musicianship, and then there's that, and it's way up here, man. It's crazy.
I've always admired, that other level of musicality because it just kind of inspires you to, not stay where you are. Like,
Right.
You might, you get a lot of people, compliment you on your playing, but like at the end of the day, there's always a higher level that you can achieve, and that kind of keeps you on your toes and keeps you working hard.
Well, with that said, it may be a redundant question, but I always ask this of every artist I interview, no matter who it is. If you could play on stage with one person, one celebrity musician, past or present, who would you pick?
I'll give that one to you first.
Yeah, we'll let Gino take it.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of what like Dave Grohl does, like in all of his live situations, and he just seems like he's really fun. I mean, like there was he played Madison, like the Foos played Madison Square Garden. They had Dave Chappelle come up and sing "Creep."
Creep. I saw that. That was amazing.
It was really weird to watch. I mean, Dave Chappelle's like he wasn't doing a really good job singing, but like, who cares? It's Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Right, like,
I mean,
do no wrongs.
Yes.
Like,
exactly. I mean, he just seems like such a character, and it seems to be like just a really good time to play on stage with him, or like all of the Foos, or
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how about you, Dave? Anybody past or present you'd step onto the stage with if you could?
Oh, I would definitely like be a fill-in and Kiss. Like I totally can do the whole Ace Frehley thing, hands down. Like give me the makeup, like a wig. Like I think Tommy Thayer's got some competition coming.
I will tell you, in my day, I played in a lip syncing Kiss reenactment band at Americana Amusement Park for a season.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Wasn't that fun? Yes. Yeah, I was Ace as well. I was a lot skinnier then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun, man.
Balance issues like Ace too. Like so, I mean, like it was fun. Me like maybe like kind of barely like tilting backwards up the stage sometimes, doing all those antics.
So what are you guys going to be up to here? You're playing all over. I see your gigs popping up right and left, so things are coming back. Somebody throw it out there to me. Where are the Interns going to be playing here?
Yeah, so this Friday we're up at Froggy's up in Monroe. We love it there. We'll be there 9 to 1 Friday night. Saturday we're going to be over at Big Bull's Roadhouse in Ross. That's also 9 to 1. We did their St. Patrick's Day this year. That was actually our first time we played there. and we've been back there one other time. So it's a cool little spot. They have a nice outdoor stage with plenty of room, to dance and all that stuff.
Right, and
And then-
also every Tuesday, I host a open mic over in Hamilton at North Second Tap and Bottle Shop, which has a nice eclectic, mix of a lot of the best players over there in Hamilton. There's like the Bunch James and All Night Drivers over there and whatnot. I do that every Tuesday night, and get into that.
Yeah, Wednesdays you do like the Strauss House.
Yeah, Strauss House, which is
down in Covington.
Yep, 9 to 1. And then we play at Mansion Hill Tavern over in Northern Kentucky, over there in Bellevue, the Friday after next.
Yeah. And you can keep up with wherever we are on like all of our social media too. We're on, of course, Facebook. It's INTURNS. Yep, just like he's got it on the screen. We're on Instagram too. I'm trying to kind of get more. I've never really been into Instagram, so I'm trying to, post more on there, try to get some more followers. So if you're on Instagram, definitely follow us there too.
And we're also, we're playing almost every weekend up. We're booked up all the way until almost September, October. So again, just check us out.
Yeah,
because the interns are going to be coming near you.
Yeah, probably somewhere near you. We're all over.
Wow, that was a good plug, Dave.
Yeah,
that was good. Coming to a stage near you, the Interns.
Right.
What else you want to share with the folks out there that may not know you guys? Anything else you want to throw out at them before we go today?
Well, we got some plans in the works for this coming year. We're working on a new album called Original, and then on the heels of that, well, I guess probably on the reverse end of that, we're also working on recording a live album with a couple new songs on it as well. So that's pretty much what we got on the books for this year.
Yeah, definitely trying to get some new content out there. And we kind of set up like at a lot of our at our shows, sometimes we'll kind of set up so we're able to capture all of that live. Dave will basically set up his computer so that everything's connected up into the soundboard and like records into Logic in his little MacBook. So that kind of is a good way for us to hear back what we're doing too, and if we can kind of mix and master all that. And
we also have very few of these limited
editions,
imprinted, hand screen printed.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten your hands on one of these,
there's probably about 4 or 5 left. We have a couple of smalls, couple of mediums. I think
we're getting more on the way, but get them while they're hot.
Yeah.
So the intern shirts at an intern show, right? Anytime they come to your show, they can find those.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, and I hope to see you guys at the Bell and the Bear on Thursday soon. Let's make that a jam night. That's always fun and a good time. And I know it's getting busier for all the musicians, so we're seeing a little decrease in the amount of people that play, which is sometimes good because there's been nights through the winter that were 30 musicians there to play, and that's a juggling act, no doubt.
But everybody on the stage, that's tough.
Yeah, it starts to look like. One of those Rock Hall of Fame shows where they bring out 400 to sing at the end or something because it gets real loud. Hats off to Karis for having a great music venue. Bell and the Bear.
She's so amazing.
And there's so many of them in the Cincinnati area that you guys play. You mentioned Froggy's. Froggy's sponsors our Who's Playing Out segment every Thursday on the show here, and where we bring you the tri-state musicians and where they're playing. And I got to give Stacy and Rich a big shout out because they are great people. And what they've done to Froggy's to open that room up and turn it into a bigger music room is just amazing.
Yeah,
it's
they did a bunch of like renovations there, I think, while everything was shut down. And when we went back there afterward, we were like, oh, wow, it's nice.
And I think that was the last time I saw you guys play as a band was there at Froggy's. And it's just a cool room now. It's good.
Couple months ago.
Yeah, we had those blown out speakers because we were blowing out our horns. Like
we had to upgrade. We had to upgrade our rig a little bit.
In all of the infinite wisdom, you were like, "I think your top end's blown out," and I was like, "You know what? I think you're right."
And he was. We got some new speakers in those mains, and it fixed the problem.
Yeah,
so
right, sounded crystal clear.
Sounding good now. Yeah, you weren't in that whoa thing that I was hearing.
Right. We're like trying to take you to the next hemisphere.
Which was just you guys blowing the roof off. You know that's what it is, all right. You turn it to 11. I know you do, but that's part of that music. part of that music you play. And man, you guys do a great job. Gino, Dave, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And guys, if you're out there again, follow the Interns, Inturns. Interns. Let me throw that.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott. We really appreciate it. We'll see you around.
All right. We appreciate you guys. Hang in there for a minute. I'll talk to you after we get off live here, but thank you so much. And folks, if you're watching afterwards, please drop a comment for the Interns, share the show, and give some folks a little bit of insight into what these two guys are doing, and three guys. Actually, we didn't mention your drummer. Mention your drummer, guys.
I think he's at work slinging pizzas. So
no, but Josh is a character too. I mean,
Josh
we couldn't give it all away for free. You got to come out to a show and catch Josh, because he's a sweetheart. He's a funny, goofy guy, and he's one heck of a drummer.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he is.
He's right up there with the best of them.
You just got to see it for yourself. Words don't do it justice. Pun intended.
These two words do it justice right here. The Interns, Inturns. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram. Dave, Gino, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
All right. Guys, we will be back with you tomorrow at 5 o'clock live here on All Around Town Radio with Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies in Monroe, where we feature the best musicians in the tri-state, where they're playing for the week, so you get a chance to plan your musical weekend. Thanks for watching today. You've been live here on Wednesday with the Band with the Interns. We'll catch you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.